Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video.
So it was my fifth wedding anniversary, and this one was extra special because we found out about a week ago that I'm pregnant. So we were really excited, and this seemed like our last anniversary with just the two of us, but also like it's our first anniversary where we know our family has grown. I wanted to celebrate this one by going an extra mile so that we remember it for a long time. My husband was thinking along the same lines, and we decided to throw a party for our family and close friends. We invited nearly 20 people to our place and arranged everything from a fancy dinner to an alcohol station. There was karaoke for people who were interested and a few games for the introverts of our group who would like to sit at a corner and just play by themselves. Even though this was a special one for us, we were determined to show everyone a good and comfortable time. Now, I knew I wasn't allowed to drink alcohol, so I couldn't use the drink to calm my nerves of being a hostess. So I went extra hard on making sure I'm fully confident with my appearance and no one could notice a slip or two in my hostessing ability in front of my looks. My husband also hyped me up because he always enjoys showing me off and never holds me back. So I chose a risky dress for our anniversary before I got all chubby with a pregnant belly. The dress wasn't that revealing for me. It was backless with only my chest and body tape holding it up. There was a long slit on the left side that went all the way up to my waist, and I had to again use body tape to make sure it stays in place. Honestly, with my figure, it wasn't that hard to carry it because the size was perfect. I did my hair in a low bun with a few strands loose to give it a messy look. The result was stunning, and I was really happy with how it turned out to be. I did accept that it was a little fancy for a party in my own home, but who cares about that? We have told all our friends the dress code, and our place isn't that shabby. The party started around 7, and our friends came before our parents could come. Everyone oohed and ahed at me, and I was genuinely happy with the reactions until finally my mother in law walked in and visibly checked me out. She frowned after looking at the slit in my dress and just said that I seemed to have gotten bold because it's our anniversary. To tell you the truth, I haven't seen eye to eye with my mother in law on many things, and although her straightforward reaction was rude, it wasn't totally unexpected. But I let it slide as my father in law told both me and my husband that we both looked amazing together. We started enjoying ourselves, but my mother in law kept openly staring at me and making faces. It was obvious to the point where my friends noticed it and came over to tell me not to mind her and just enjoy my day. My husband asked me if I wanted him to talk to mother in law, but I told him there's no need to create a scene. Soon it was time to cut the cake, and my husband was giving a toast to us when he used the words, "My beautiful, stunning wife," and my mother in law loudly scoffed. That's when I lost my patience and asked her if there's anything she'd like to say, and she looked straight at me and said, "There's no need for her to express anything when I'm expressing everything with my body." It wasn't even that great of a taunt. But I was already on edge because of her behavior, and it almost brought me to tears. All I wanted was to look pretty on my anniversary, and she ruined the whole thing for me. But before I could say anything, my husband told her that she must be catching up to her age because what I'm wearing is the trend these days, and he loves me for it. At this, my mother in law said it's just inappropriate and excused herself to go out for a smoke. The whole mood was ruined, and I even went to my bedroom. That's when my sister in law called me to apologize for running late, and I told her she doesn't even need to come because the party is ruined. When she asked me what I meant and why, I said, like, I'm crying. I told her exactly what had happened, and she tried to cheer me up. But because she had to drive, she said she'll see me in 30 minutes and hung up. After that, my husband came up and convinced me to come down. He said that everyone is still enjoying themselves and I shouldn't let mother in law ruin this for me. So we went down, and after a while, my sister in law called me to open the front door. When I saw what she was wearing, my jaw dropped. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If a stranger walked by, they'd definitely say she's the main character for the night. She was wearing a fully see-through black colored mini dress with patches of clothes keeping her dignity hidden. I asked her what she was thinking, and she said she just wanted to give me competition and gave me a hug. I couldn't help but laugh at her antics. When my husband saw her, he almost took off his coat to cover her up, but she said she needs to show off her fabulous dress to her mom at least. So we went in to find mother in law sitting near the karaoke, and oh boy, when she saw sister in law walking towards the karaoke, her jaw visibly dropped. She got up so fast that the drink my father in law was holding almost dropped to the floor. My mother in law walked fast towards us and asked sister in law what she was thinking, wearing a dress that slutty. And my sister in law only smiled and gave a twirl to ask her, "What's wrong with showing off?" My mother in law tried to steer sister in law away from the crowd and upstairs, but sister in law refused to budge from her spot. In the end, mother in law was so embarrassed and angry that she left the house. The whole thing was so funny that I burst out laughing. I went after her, and when she saw me, she said there's no point of apologizing because she's too embarrassed to even call us her family. But all I did was pass her belongings and told her to take an Uber because I saw her drink a lot. And then I shut the door on her face. Her last expression of shock sent me into another fit of laughter. When I came back, I offered sister in law one of my dresses, and she gladly changed into something more decent. The whole time we were laughing like crazy. But now that the party is over, I feel a little bad for my mother in law. So I wanted to ask if what we did was an a-hole move. I was the hostess and I should have made sure to make everyone comfortable, but I ended up shutting the door on her face. Am I the a-hole for doing that, or would you have done the same thing in my situation? My, oh my, I didn't think so many people in the comments would take my side, but I'm pleased that so many of you agree with me. It was my day, and she totally made me feel like crap, so she deserved what she got. It's been a week since then, and I was moving past the whole thing, not thinking of it as a big deal, but then my mother-in-law called me. I had no idea why she was calling out of the blue and figured maybe she understands how badly she treated me, and this is her way to smooth things over. So I answered on the sixth ring, and when I tell you I wasn't ready for what she said, I'm not kidding. She called me to explain about how we treated her and said that she waited a week for us to realize our mistake. But according to her, we were obviously not coming to our senses, so she called me to give me a chance to apologize to her. I mean, how much more can a person embarrass themselves? She was waiting for an apology when what I did wasn't even wrong. She really did get on my nerves then, and I told her point blank I did nothing wrong. And if I were to go back in time, the only thing I'd change was not sending in her invitation. That offended her even more, and she was so furious that she threatened me that if I don't apologize, she's going to cut me and my son off from the family, and we wouldn't get anything from her. Instead of saying anything, I just laughed and hung up. I couldn't waste any more of my time on Karen, and I don't think the stress is good for my baby. Guess who called me back after 4 months of no contact? Yes, my mother-in-law. She recently found out about my pregnancy, and it's just a guess, but I think sister-in-law must have told my father-in-law, who must have told her. Either way, she found out that she's going to be a grandma and called me to again criticize me for not telling her such important news. Like, what did she expect me to do? She obviously stated in clear words that if I didn't apologize, she's going to take us out of her inheritance and we'll go no contact. And I still did not apologize. So, why would I ever tell her that I'm pregnant? Also, she caught me at a bad time because I was already too hormonal from pregnancy and my mood swings are no joke. As soon as she started behaving like a narcissist again, I told her to shut it and that she shouldn't get her hopes up because we are no longer family. She wanted oh so desperately to cut us off, and now she's gotten her wish, and we're happy without judgmental people like her in our lives. So there's no way I'm letting her into my child's life. She was about to say something, but I didn't even wait for her to finish and hung up again. I also blocked her from everywhere and told my husband about what happened. Hopefully, this time she'll get a clear sign that her toxicity isn't welcome in our lives. I came home last week with our newborn daughter, and she's the most precious and adorable thing in this world. I was exhausted and happy at the same time when my husband broached the subject of mother in law. He said that he's getting calls from her non-stop, and she even went so far as to ask father-in-law to relay her messages. He told me that he didn't tell me before because I was already in a bad mood because of pregnancy, but she has apologized to him countless times, and we should let her see our daughter and give her one more chance to make things right. I wasn't ready to do that, so we argued about it for an hour. But by the end of time, I was fully beaten, both mentally and physically. So I told my husband that if he wants to let her back in our lives, then it's fine. But I'm not going to tolerate even a slight remark against me or my daughter. He promised me that I wouldn't have to do anything I don't want to do. So my mother-in-law will be coming over soon, and I just hope this time she doesn't mess it all up. NTA, totally not the a-hole here. If anything, your mother-in-law deserved what she got in the end. If she can't let you be who you are, then she doesn't need to be in your life. NTA, oh my God, I hate mother-in-laws who radiate Karen energy, and your mother-in-law sounds like one. You didn't do anything wrong, and don't beat yourself up because it was your day, and you deserve to wear a towel if that's what you felt like wearing. I live in a college town with my girlfriend. When she goes out with her friends, I pick her up and give a ride to people she is with. Let's say this is 3 times a month, and they're usually the same people. My girlfriend is bad at being picked up. I'm going to some random location. If I'm on the way, I live 10 minutes away. You should answer the phone and be ready to go. I don't usually have issues with anxiety, but it's been a thing recently, and that led to today, where I was getting her and 3 friends from downtown once the bars closed on Saturday. These streets are packed tight, and I don't know the area. I was on the phone with her, and I'm behind another car doing my general routine. Since I didn't see them yet, I was fine just pretending like this car in front of me was the problem, while she tries to find me. 2 minutes later, I spot my girlfriend. I pull over onto the side road on the corner of the street she is on. We are talking 75 feet away from me. Max. We're also talking two-way traffic on a brick alley road. I'm definitely blocking traffic, and 2 cars back is a large intersection. Can people squeeze through? Yes. Comfortably? No. I was certain I was going to get hit, which only increased the anxiety. Then people are eventually stuck in the intersection. People are honking, everything else. No one opened my car door for over 5 minutes. Now I'm hot on the phone. And I don't care because I want these people to figure it out. After 5 minutes, I have 3 of 4 passengers. They insist they tried to get the other one, but they're talking to someone. To me, it's simple. I give you multiple free rides a month, and I literally never even speak to you. Do I mind helping and driving around or whatever anyone needs? Not at all. I enjoy it. But if you're going to have no respect for me, go screw yourself. I'm getting zero benefit. When I was on the phone, I was 100% rude because, like I said, I wanted people to know, so they'd figure it the hell out. And I was so anxious and angry and felt so disrespected that I wanted to just leave. Do I want to feel that way or be rude? No. Did they leave me with much of a choice? I don't think so. Did anyone apologize? No. Did anyone care? No. Now I'm fighting with my girlfriend because I got upset at here because she is insistent that she was ready. She wasn't ready if her friends aren't with her and good to go. I'm talking to her. All I can do is say, hey, I'm here, let's go. It's her responsibility to get them. I've been in charge of many drunk people in my life. I've never had a problem rounding people up. You go up to them, look them in the eye, and say, hey, our ride's here. You need to come with me, RN, or you won't have a ride. No one is like, I need 10 minutes. Tell them to wait outside. I've never heard that. 98% say, it's okay. The other two, they fend for themselves. My girlfriend's mad because I embarrassed her on the phone and I feel like these are just shitty people being selfish. I apologized and was intentionally ignored. NTA, stop giving them free rides or make them pay gas money. It seems from your frustration that this isn't a new occurrence and that it happens on occasion. If you're ready, you should be ready to go, not grabbing your friends when the ride is already there. I'd say put up boundaries. Say you don't mind getting them, but if you're waiting over 5 minutes or longer, depending on your preference in the area, that you'll leave because they said they were ready when they weren't. Otherwise, park somewhere, and if it costs money, then that's on them, along with the gas for driving. It's not a free world, and while I'm sorry to say it, but it sounds like your girlfriend and friends are taking advantage of your good nature. NTA, but I don't think your girlfriend was either, unless you've made it clear to her this bothers you in the past. You were all young, she was drunk, and didn't get her shit together. It is perfectly reasonable to set boundaries for the future, i.e., don't drive them around anymore. Only pick girlfriend up, only pick up whoever is on the curb when you arrive. Whatever you are comfortable with. It's not ideal she and her friends did this, and it's not ideal you lost your cool. Try to rationally explain why you were upset and come up with a solution for next time. I have a 21-year-old stepdaughter who I've been in the life of since she was 2 years old, when I began to date her father, and when she was 5, I became her stepmother. Her husband and his ex-wife live in the same town, so my stepdaughter would always alternate houses every week, and despite her being an adult now, we're still close. She is marrying her boyfriend of 5 years in May. I know for a fact that they can't afford to get her dream dress, as she's talked to me about it. I have a good job and I love her like she's my own daughter. So I told her I'd buy her whatever dress she wanted as my wedding gift to her. My husband was there when I made the offer and had no problem with it, so that isn't a concern. The issue, however, came up when her mother found out. She came round demanding to know where I got off offering to buy her daughter a wedding dress, and that I had no right to do this, and what if she'd wanted to buy the dress. I did feel bad about this and suggested we each pay half of the dress, but she isn't happy with this and said she can't afford the kind of dress I could, and now I've gotten my stepdaughter's hopes up for any dress she wants. I suggested that she just pay what she's comfortable paying, and I'd cover the rest, and she can just assume her mother and I went half on it. But this was also shot down. My husband asked her what exactly she expected then, and she thinks I should withdraw the offer entirely. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, as I'm not going to be letting my stepdaughter down, but I don't know how else I can make this right. My husband ended up kicking his ex wife out of our house and calling her unreasonable and that she should remember this isn't about her. But I feel guilty over upsetting her. I didn't think it was out of line to offer this as I've been part of my stepdaughter's life for 19 years. Was I out of line with this? I am worried this could cause drama on the day. NTA, what an incredibly generous gift. Despite what your husband's ex clearly thinks, you are one of the parents of the bride. Maybe she can pay for flowers or something different. Don't let her talk you out of it, though. She'd rather her daughter go without versus you paying for it, which is incredibly selfish. Your husband is right. This is supposed to be about your daughter and not your mom. NTA, what you offered is incredibly sweet and thoughtful, and you have been in your stepdaughter's life for 19 years. You help raise her and take care of her. Yeah, her mom can be upset you offered before her, but to cause a massive scene is just childish. She should just offer to split half the cost if it means that much to her. And if she doesn't even want to do that, drop it. Be done. The day will be about the stepdaughter and her fiance. Nobody else has a right to it, not even her mom having a tantrum over a very sweet offer.